If you like this video, why not subscribe?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly Q&A recap Q&A. That's where I look at comments and emails from last week to the YouTube channel and in my email box and answer questions. I talk about things that happened last week. I share with you a bunch of links that accumulated on the Facebook group and Twitter, which you can find below. If you don't want to hear me jabber on, you can go to that. You can tab away while I'm talking, because all I'll be doing is talking with the occasional annotation to refer whatever video I'm talking about. And if you don't like that, then you can play Spot the Squirrel or Raccoon or whatever those critters are that seem to be darting about behind me in the trees. See if you can find any this week. Last week I missed a video. I should have had a video last week, but as things happened, and I didn't have time to get one done. So I apologize for that. It's the first time in like 4 months since I started on the consistent schedule. So that's a major boo-boo on my part, and I apologize. This week I will have a tip episode. Actually, last week, typically, it's either a short film. It should be a short film. I didn't have a short film. So I was going to do an enhanced audio tip episode, which I actually ended up posting on my blog. Some people helped me out on some audio tips. But I didn't have an episode this past week, and I think in the future, when I don't have a short film on the fourth Wednesday or Thursday, I will do a $1 budget episode, which those seem to be popular. People keep asking me to do more of those. So that'll be a good filler on the fourth Wednesday or Thursday if I don't have a short film. Next month, or this month of April, happy April, I should have a short film. The short film Sleeper I've been working on. You may have seen some of the footage I posted on Facebook as a Frugal Crane test. That film should be done by the end of the month, and I will post that. So at any rate, let's move on. Oh, last week the question was, do we need our own forum? I got lots of great input. People like the idea of having their own forum. There is an issue about maybe fragmenting the Facebook group, which seems to work somewhat okay. It's just you just don't have categories, but it's still going. And as Sean on the Facebook group pointed out, it might be a good idea just to stay with Facebook until the wheels fall off, as he put it. So I like that idea. I had lots of great volunteers. People volunteer to say, "Hey, I'll moderate your forum." So if you're still interested in that, keep that in mind, because I think we are going to have to move to something else probably within like a year, because it's getting pretty busy. I mean, you post something on Facebook, on the Facebook group, and it shoots right down because 50 people respond. I mean, it's a great forum. I'm really excited about how popular it's become, but it probably won't be too long in the future where we have to do something about that. So for those of you who volunteered to be moderators, tuck that away, because I'll probably ask you to do that in the future if that still interests you. So this week the question, I was going to ask something more about filmmaking. I am going to ask, what part of filmmaking do you spend the most time on? What do you think is the most important part of a movie or a project that you're making? And I'll admit, I don't think there's any one specific thing that's the most important, because it's a collaborative effort and there's lots of elements that go into making a movie. But what is the thing that you spend the most time on? Because I know we all do. So think about that question. That'll be the question of the week. What element of filmmaking is the most important, i.e. what do you spend the most time on? Okay, we've got a lot of questions today. We're back to like a slew of questions, so I'm going to go as fast as I can so we don't go hopefully over 20 minutes. B-Jams World made a comment on the weekly recap last week. He asks, as someone who knows very little about cameras but can learn quickly, would you recommend going with a more expensive camcorder, such as the one you own, the Canon Vixia HFS 100, or trying to go with the newer and more popular DSLR option, specifically the Canon Rebel T3i? I think we had this question last week or the week before. It's a common question. Video camera, DSLR. What should I buy if you have the option? Well, I've said it before. I'll go ahead and just repeat the same answer. I think it still applies. Is that I think if you're one-man banding it a lot like I am as far as video blogging or doing documentary work, you need more of a self-contained camera with everything in it, namely audio, a mic input, headphone jack, manual audio levels, non-critical focus, meaning you've got a lot of deep focus. Like then I would say pick a video camera. We don't have to worry too much about focus. You have to check it, but the video camera is kind of a documentarian's camera, I think. Video blogging is kind of like a documentary. They're also good for filmmaking. However, a DSLR is more of a DP's camera, meaning it needs its own operator. You can get away with a lot with a video camera. I set up this video camera and let it go, hit record, and it does fine. But with a DSLR, you basically need a more dedicated operator. It's got more things to adjust. You change lenses, you're going to need to check your focus more critically, which is why a lot of people have external monitors. So it's just more touchy that way. So it depends what you want to do. You're going to be doing video blogging. You're going to be doing documentaries. I would say get a video camera, standard video camera, HFS 100 type, any Vixia model. Those are good cameras, and they have manual audio levels, mic inputs, headphone jacks. If you're going to be making more strictly films, narratives, get a DSLR. They have more options, but you will be recording double system sound probably, so it just takes more care. But you can make both. You can make films with both cameras. Really, it just depends on what you like. Okay, AA Ron C 1794 made a comment on the Frugal Crane 2.0. It says, any idea how to add the ability to pan as well as tilt the camera on the Frugal Crane? Love the 2.0 crane. Thanks. That seems to be a pretty popular episode. And people have been asking about adding a pan option to the crane. Maybe that'll be a 3.0 or a 4.0. I've said in the past, I don't see an immediate need for that, so I'm not going to do it. But lots of people ask about it, so it's probably something I should start thinking about. As of this time, I don't know how you can just add the ability to pan, because you're going to need some kind of a cage. If you want to maintain tilting and panning, it's going to be more money, definitely, and a redesign. So start thinking about that. People seem to want that one. I use cameras, made a comment on C-clamp mount for $10. He says, does your Kobe monitor still show brightly? Just wondering, because I purchased a small Kobe, maybe 5-inch TV for my bathroom once, and it went dark within 3 months. So since then, I've stayed away from the Kobe brand. All those little 7-inch monitors that you find on Amazon for about $50, they're all kind of the same. They're basically the same brand, and they're just from China. They're rebranded, and whatever the model is, Pegasus, I think Axiom is one, and Kobe. And they're all pretty cheap. I got mine really cheap for $10. My wife found it an amazing deal. But yeah, it's cheap. It's an SD monitor. Mine hasn't gone dark though. But the internal battery is terrible. It lasts maybe 5 minutes, so I either have to leave it plugged in or I have to get an external battery. So yeah, they're cheap. Mine still works. I'm sorry yours went dark. I mean, it's definitely a crapshoot when you buy a cheap brand, like with anything else. Led Zeppelin 1942 made a comment on the Frugal Floater. Would it work for a Panasonic DVX? Absolutely not. The Frugal Floater is really only for smaller, lighter weight cameras, not DSLRs, not prosumer cameras. That needs a redesign for a larger camera. And that was a real tough one to design for a smaller camera, so I'm not sure how soon that'll happen, but like with all my stuff, 2.0 versions are probably in the near future. It's just a good idea to do. DCF Crams Forever. DCF Crams Forever? Made a comment on the Frugal Floater. Is it good for a GoPro? Probably. GoPro is lighter camera, I believe. Smaller, lighter. Definitely the Frugal Floater is made more for a smaller, lighter camera. So I don't know for sure because I've never tried it, but I would say probably. Clark Pheasant made a comment on the Trolley Dolly. Says I ordered standard rollerblade wheels. They don't fit in into any of the shelving rails. They roll along the edges. Any thoughts? Well, that's definitely a problem, probably because they would tend to bind, I would think, and not move. So I would say if you've already bought the rollerblade wheels, I would say just start looking for an alternate channel, maybe aluminum channel. Just take the wheels into your hardware store and see what they fit into that would resemble dolly track. And then get that. I'm sorry they don't fit into the shelving rails. I had to poke around for a while to find any shelving rails that were actually wide enough to accommodate my used rollerblade wheels. So just takes some poking around. XXXX, it never ends, XXXX, made a comment on the camera crane Jeep for $30. I have most of this complete, but I'm having some trouble with the tripod part. I have a Sunpack 2001, and it only has a hole for a 1/4-inch screw. What would you do? Also, what model of tripod are you using in the video, because I might consider buying that one. I'm using a kind of a heavy-duty, I call it the Beast, I've called it that before. It's a Bogan 501 head on Manfrotto 3046 sticks, but it wasn't cheap. It's a heavy-duty tripod. It cost like $300 when I bought it 10 years ago. If I was going to do it all over, I would probably buy a DJ speaker stand. It's those heavy-duty speaker stands. I'll see if I can put a link below to one. They hold up those really heavy speakers you'll see DJs use. It holds them like, I don't know, 6 feet in the air, 5 foot in the air, whatever. But they're basically very sturdy, tripod stands. They look like huge light stands. And I would drill a horizontal hole in the top and mount the camera crane the same way, the Frugal Crane, that it's mounted on the tripod in the video. Just put that screw through horizontally. Black Raven 156 made a comment on camera crane here for $30. This looks great. Any ideas about making something similar, but for a camera about 14 pounds? I'm not sure about. I think the pole would probably still work. You just would have to beef up the camera supports. 14 pounds is pretty heavy. Definitely it would sag what I've got now with that steel L connector, that joist that the camera platform is on. But if you just beef up that, it would probably work fine. I'm not sure exactly how you would do that. Maybe, I mean, 14, that's a big camera. It's like an ENG size. You just need bigger everything. I don't know if the pulleys would probably still work, but you just need to increase the strength of your mount, so a larger mount. Camera platform, I think, would work. Wilfred Coe made a comment on camera stabilizer rig for $105. Can this work for DSLR, specifically a Canon 60D? Absolutely. Lots of people have used them with DSLRs. You might have to adjust the length of the PVC, depending on your needs, but PVC is cheap. If you're in the United States anyway, I keep hearing it's deathly expensive overseas, but you just have to adjust for whatever camera you put in there, you adjust it for that size, and it will work fine. Lots of people have done it. HJ Kent Productions made a comment on camera stabilizer rig, same video. I was wondering what you would suggest to modify the rig so that the zoom capabilities are a little more easily accessible without having to take two hands off the rig. This is a question I'm sure I know several people have asked me before, and it would definitely come into play on a 2.0 rig episode. Off the top of my head, I would say you probably want, have you seen that silicone jar opener? It's like it's a little strap. You unzip it and you can put it around your lens, the focus ring. You zip it up and it's got this silicone piece that sticks out. So I'm assuming you might be able to do that while you're holding the rig. You can maybe move that with your finger. But what I would like to do for people that want this kind of a feature in the future is have something attached to the two handles, like maybe some triggers or some handles that move like that would allow you to pull focus, because right now I realize it's very difficult because you can't reach it without taking your hands off of the handles. So that's definitely up and coming in a 2.0 episode, but those are just my initial ideas how I would handle it. The cheapest one being the jar opener. Maybe I'll add a link to that. Wilfred Coe made a comment on the same video. And can we use a wing nut on the bolt for easy screw in? Yes, you can use whatever works. There's no standard here. This is the whole idea of all my stuff, is just to throw it out there. This is what I built. This is how it works. Feel free to modify it to whatever works for you. Just make sure that you tell us all what you've done, especially if it's an improvement. Logan D. Elizel. I keep trying. Sorry, Logan. I know you've sent me your name before, and I keep messing it up. So, mic shock mount for $1.20. Will most windscreens fit on the mic with it in the shock mount? I've never had a problem with a typical windscreen, whether it's foam or a dead cat. As long as it's a half windscreen, just covers the front of the mic. Yes, it works. Pork Invasion sent me a message, or a reply actually, to the Frugal Floater, asking if it would work with a Nikon D3100. I don't know how big a Nikon is, but it's not really made for DSLRs. So I'm going to say no. If it's a point and shoot, yes. If it's a DSLR, no. Alright, so much for comments. On to my only message of the week. Danyan1412 says I recently got a work light and did the hacks on it like in the video. This is the work light hacking video. Quite a long time ago, and when I finished it, it started smoking up. I'm wondering if you know any way to fix this. And also, would you be able to make a DIY reflector, or at least show us how to get one for less than $20? I don't know why your light is smoking. Perhaps you got some oil with your fingers, from your fingers on the bulb when you were messing around with it. In which case, your bulb is probably, bulb life has been shortened, but it might be the oil on the bulb that's igniting basically, and it's smoking. So I would say change the bulb. Try that. Those, you can get them in any hardware store for those lights. As far as your reflector question, I have no plans on making a DIY reflector. Bounce cards are super cheap. Just get a big piece of foam core from any craft store or hardware store. Or I'll leave a link to a great one on Amazon. They're like $12, and they're the collapsible reflector. And they've got white, black, gold, and silver interchangeable linings. They're $12. Those are super cheap and very versatile. So that's what I would go with. All right, that's everything we have for this week. Again, the question is, what part of filmmaking do you spend the most time on as far as your movie or video projects? What do you think is the most important part? Whatever you spend the most time on. And again, this week, the episode is going to be a tip episode about how to do animated storyboards in Vegas Pro, since we had requests for that after the making of Hostages episode. Also, don't forget about the Facebook group, the blog, and Twitter. All those links are directly below me. You don't even have to expand the description. They're right there, as well as all links from the past week. So, with that being said, have a great week, everyone. Good luck on all your video projects. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye.